Hey guys,
What's going on, man?
What's up?
I'm excited to have someone in our guest chair today, and we will talk to him in a second. His name is also Ryan, so I think we decided on RB.
Yeah, that works.
I'm not going to remember that, but if I'm calling you Ryan, I think people will figure it out.
Yeah.
If Trey says it, he needs to be the one to say RB. Is that right? Can you remember that?
About what? Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly why you're on the show. I wanted to update you really fast before we get talking to Ryan that we've gone back and forth with our male listeners and our female listeners. We've talked about this, Spotify.
Now we have no listeners?
They're all, it's all going down. The Spotify analytics that I'm sure are
Spot on. Yeah.
Now I'm pissing off our host. Just get everybody out of there. Is now claiming that the women have caught back up.
Nice.
And I think it's because we apologize for anything we might have said.
Did we?
I think so.
Should we apologize for
The
future
next time.
shows? Yes.
Yeah. Also, I put up last show. I don't know if you heard yet, Ryan. We talked a little bit about a Black Lives Matter organizer who claimed that looting was okay because of reparations, and it was this big, serious topic, and it's one that I think we need to talk about. And so I knew posting this was going to get a reaction. I posted a little clip of it on YouTube, and it is split. I mean, it was 50% likes, 50% dislikes.
Wow.
And no bad comments. Most of them were like, screw Black Lives Matter. I was like, okay, well, that's not what we're going for either here, buddy. So anyway, I thought that was interesting that, our name, Stay in the Gray, Ryan, that is about as gray as it gets, 50%. I don't know if I think we need to side with somebody, don't you think?
Possibly.
Anyway, hey, my man, glad to have you here.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What do you think of our podcast name? I think you like to poke fun at it.
I've never poked fun at it. I think it's a good name. It's clever. I mean, it's unique. I haven't heard anything like it, so it's good.
I don't think we.
I'm not going to lie, Ryan.
It's intuitive too.
I think having Ryan on the show is going to help our lady listeners out if they're watching the show.
He looks sharp today.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Nice compliment.
I like the glasses.
Yeah. I'm coming from an event. Thing, so for my kids' school.
I love it because I don't think we've had another dad on here yet. Oh yeah, Tim.
Yeah.
Tim is
airline pilot Timmy was on here, but his kids are like yours are about my kids' age. So I think you and I can get along.
I mean, he could probably relate too. But it's just fresher. We're at the same spot.
Yeah, you're enjoying fatherhood, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's like I'm growing a lot too in the process. It's like an important responsibility. It's like I've like involuntarily introduced these people into the world, and I have to make sure that they are prepared for it and that they are good contributors to society. And that's like, it's not just sending them to school. It's like making sure they're not jerks.
Right.
But also like I'm just inherently not a very patient person.
Yeah.
And not by choice, and I'll take any sort of method to make it better, and I probably haven't seeked them out enough, but I think kids have helped me become more patient.
Nice.
That's how I feel about mine. I mean, honestly, and my wife too. Let's give her some I mean, it makes me better. Makes me a better man. It's teaching me stuff like you just said that I never would have learned otherwise, right?
Yeah, I think it also makes me a little bit of a better collaborator with work and like a little bit better of a boss.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, not that, which sounds terrible because it's not that employees are children, but you just like learn to be more patient with people and just being different personalities. It's like you just can't have the same expectations for everybody. And that's the same thing with like your relationship with your spouse. It's like, I have a way I want to do things. She has a way she wants to do things. There are certain things that I think you should compromise on, but you just can't expect everything to be a compromise.
Right.
You're not saying that your employees are children.
No, I'm absolutely not.
Absolutely not. I'm just joking.
No, I'm just saying.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
But you definitely have to talk to them in different ways. You can't talk to them the same way as you would another person.
Well, it's just like expecting results and then being patient about the expectations. Yeah. That's really the only the only applicable thing. It's like, okay, Perry, it's my daughter. I'm like, Perry, will you pick up, you finished your food. Okay, let's go put it on the counter. She's like, well, I need to build a unicorn first.
Right.
Well, yeah. That's what Trey has to do that before
Yeah.
dinner.
I don't want to stifle your creativity. Let's see this unicorn.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a good unicorn. Let's pick up. And she always picks it up eventually. Like,
Eventually.
it's not like she's
Maybe a
blowing me
couple days
off.
later, but it happens.
She's definitely sneaky though. She's going to be a good negotiator.
I think that's the difference between boys and girls. Maybe like she cleans it up and all that.
Eventually. So.
Okay. Well, she still needs to teach.
Well, that's impressive.
my
I
boys.
mean, we've got a buddy of ours that into his 30s living at home and would literally have his TV tray sitting in front of him, finish his food. He would slide back on his bed, and his mom would come in, take the TV tray, clean up for him.
Oh, I know who we're talking about.
Like
yeah.
still?
Yeah.
You're
Well,
fucking kidding.
Well,
Not still.
I think, but we were in our 30s.
Yeah.
This happened in his 30s.
This was recent. This was very recent.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were 30. Or,
Before he met his wife, yeah.
I'm not far behind.
The clothes his clothes hamper was right outside his door, yet he would throw the clothes right in front of his door. His mom was, pick them up, put them in the clothes hamper for him. So yeah, we told his wife, hey, this is what you're going to be doing.
Yeah.
And sure enough, she's
Oh, is she?
She's the new mom.
yeah.
I wonder if she. I was
That's
wondering
a
if she
bummer
like
for her.
whipped him into shape or whatever. But
Yeah, a little bit. Well, and then he
She's
had
gonna snap
kids.
one day and shoot him.
Yeah, he ultimately had kids, and so maybe that's helping him out too. I don't know.
we need to maybe have him on. We've brought him up a lot.
Yeah?
on the stuff that he's done.
Oh, yeah.
So, well, I'm going to get to why we brought Ryan on the show here in a second, but first, if anybody was watched the show, which apparently,
Hopefully, we'll
listen.
keep Ryan on the show after you read these questions.
I just thought we'd have some fun. It's not going to be quite as. I thought the last time we tried this, it was it got a little awkward.
Well, when Tim sat in my lap, or what?
Yeah, anybody that listened to the pilot Tim episode, Trey and Tim had they had a little romance over there, Ryan. So I don't know if it's like what's going on. So be careful. Is all I'm saying.
You only live once, man.
Right.
So these are just kind of fun, and it's would you rather do it, have sex,
Thanks for clarifying.
Coitus.
yeah, would you rather fornicate on the monkey bars or the seesaw?
Seesaw would be hard. How do you do that without the counterbalance?
better
You
be
need
hard.
two couples.
Oh, that could work.
Ooh,
That could be
okay.
fun.
Two
Look at
couples.
you. Trey
Well, I'm
perked
just
up.
saying. Otherwise, it's just you're on a horizontal board.
Or the uncomfortable center part, which is not going to do it.
I
Right?
mean, monkey bars.
But the monkey
probably
bars.
work.
Yeah, monkey bars. Yeah. Okay.
I would just.
Although I
I'm
would
just
need
like
a really strong
picturing
woman.
it logistically. I would just think monkey bars. Yeah, you need upper body strength to do it.
Well, no, I'm
Right.
talking about the woman to hold me. I'm not holding her up.
I was thinking you both hold.
I like
and
the
then you meet in the
demonstration.
middle.
Ooh.
You're both your hands are holding, and
Yeah.
then the coitus part meets in the middle.
The coitus part. This
Yeah.
might be the most intelligent thing that we've ever said on
Kind
the
of
show.
lazy though. I'm have her
then you
hold on,
can
and
rock.
I just
Then you can rock a seesaw. You're just sitting there.
or you just lay on top of the monkey bars.
Whatever.
My luck is I'd fall off and hurt myself.
Yeah, I'm going monkey bars. We're on monkey bars.
I don't know.
Any seesaw?
I think
No,
either
all right,
way,
yeah,
you're getting on
okay.
a list after this because you're on a playground.
Yeah.
That's true.
Part, yeah.
Stupid idea.
Go in the covered swirly swing
Yeah.
or a slide or whatever that thing is.
No more,
Yeah.
no more handing out candy for trick or treaters after that.
How about sex on your parents' bed when they are out, or in the room adjacent to your parents' room, separated by one wall while they're home?
How old are you?
Let's just say, you know what? Yeah, let's go back a little bit. Right? It's not now.
I did that with my first wife. So
I am not even surprised.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't care at this point.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think, but when you're young,
I mean, I'm not gonna
obviously.
embellish it or anything, but like everybody.
Yeah, everybody. Okay, right.
I would
That-
encourage them to do the same.
You know what? Thank you. That was a way to
See
say
which one gets the loudest.
That was a way to say that was a stupid question. So thank you. This is why Ryan's on it. He's going to talk business with us. He's going to talk
Nice.
ideas and things that are probably over our heads.
A little bit.
We'll see.
I'll pretend.
I've had some bad ideas.
I'm very good
Just
at
smile and nod.
I'm very good at going, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I like it. He's going to make shit up, and we're just going to be like, yeah, I agree with that.
I think I've already done that like 3 times. So, all right, this one's kind of fun. On a bed of nails,
Oh, we're still going.
or I've got, this is the last one. On a bed of nails in private, sexy, romantic, or on a luxuriously soft bed at mattress discounters during Columbus Day sale. So basically, do you like to be watched? Well, we know your answer. Yeah, previous show. Or you want the intimacy, but can you navigate through the pain, I guess?
I don't know. Was there an option C? Take a nap.
Let's make an option C. Take a nap.
I
cuddle?
mean, I would. I'll tell you what. I'm not saying I would do the bed of nails, but I would attempt. I've never tried to lay down on a bed of nails.
Right.
I'd be curious what that feels like because it's dispersing your weight. So it might actually not hurt. I'm
That's
not
true.
saying I would have sex on the bed of nails,
Right.
But if it was presented, I'd say, well, let me test out this bed of nails, and then I would say, nah, I'm good, and just quit the whole thing.
So the next
Say,
show,
who would be on top?
the next
on a
time
bed of
he,
nails?
well, that's the point. The next time he comes on, there's going to be a bed of nails.
We're gonna figure this shit out
outside, and we're going to go. And
I would lay on it,
Yeah.
like just to lay
Why
on it.
not?
I want
Yeah.
to try, like.
I would try it.
Well, it's all about learning. I mean, you learn that a bed of nails fucking hurts,
Yeah.
or it doesn't.
Right.
I think it's how you get on it.
Yeah. Oh.
You know, like because you stand on it with your foot, that's all of your weight on your foot. So it's like 5 nails.
Right.
If you get on there kind of slowly, you know, that's like 200 nails. So the pressure on each one of those nails is 100 times less than if it was just your foot. Like, so it's about
Shit, let me
distributing
write this
pressure.
down.
write that down,
You have
Trey.
a calculator?
Yeah, write that down. That's some deep shit.
That's a lot of math right there.
Yeah.
Physics.
Yeah. I don't know when I'm going to need to know that, but you know what? I think there's going to be a time, and I'm going to be like,
There better be multiple choices. on this
Ryan,
one.
yeah. This is the last thing I have on this kind of a thing. I have a question for Trey. I think he answered it at some point, but I'm going to ask it again. But before I do you have a man crush in Hollywood?
I don't know if it's there's like I'm a big Arnold
I threw
fan.
this at you.
I'm
Oh, you're an
definitely
Arnold.
a big Arnold
Okay.
fan.
Okay.
But I don't know if it's like a crush. I just respect the hell out of that guy.
I actually watched his documentary. It was pretty good.
He was so good.
Yeah.
And I've read, I knew a lot about him prior to that. And I was surprised at how much more of a story it had to tell.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was that he was holding things back or what, but it was.
He's done
was
some
good.
things. He's done some
I didn't
things,
realize he'd
yeah.
made that much money before
He was a
got into
millionaire
acting.
before he
Yeah.
ever started acting.
Yeah.
Just on
That was
the
interesting. Real
Just on
estate.
the
Yeah.
real estate.
Yeah.
I thought
Because
like the
Joe
bodybuilder.
Weider was like, yeah, get into real estate. Like
Yeah.
the financing leverage ratio is super low and like everything's flying up. So just
Wow.
do it. You put in a little cash.
Over here, or was
That
it-
was
Yeah.
in California. He was buying apartment complexes.
Yeah.
And then also at the same time, he and Franco Columbu were bricklayers. And when they weren't training, and they would go in there and they'd be like, it'd be like one's the tough European, one's the good cop,
Yeah.
good cop, bad cop, and like we are the European bricklayers. We'll come in here and we'll lay your bricks. And we're going to make it look very nice. And then one of them would start yelling, and the other one would be like, I'm sorry, he's very upset. This is too cheap. But I work with him, and we'll give you a good price. It'd be good. It'd be fantastic. And then, like, they made a bunch of money doing that, too. He's just like a very charismatic guy, but a pretty smart businessman at the same
Yeah.
time. And then he
Yeah.
was, like, selling the hell out of, like exercise equipment all over the world. Like, just a very impressive guy. Very impressive.
Well, now he's doing a newsletter that Trey gets, and he gets really excited when he
Oh,
gets
yeah.
it. Is it weekly or bi-weekly?
Daily.
It's daily.
Daily.
That can't be Arnold.
Yeah,
It's
no,
got to
it's-
be a team or
It's
something.
daily motivation stuff about nutrition and health and, myths about working out.
Well, I felt like
stuff
he was with
that.
us there for a minute. Was there something going on? And something.
Does he talk about? My understanding, and I don't like follow him daily, and I admit it, I don't really get on social media that much, and it seems like he's like uses that as a good marketing angle. But
Well, and he obviously he's got an Arnold's podcast on here too that he pushes too. So,
Oh, nice. Good.
Yeah.
But he did. I did hear that he's kind of shifted to more of a plant-based diet, and it could be because of his age.
Yeah.
But he was very much a proponent of like animal-based protein and getting like 1 gram per pound of body weight, and that's like how you build muscle. And it seemed like I'm just curious if he ever talks about that in the newsletter.
I might have missed that.
That's well
be
to me
honest
that the diet thing is really interesting because obviously, and I think Ryan, we have some mutual friends that have go a different direction than I do, which is meat and protein, and my wife's big into the protein thing, and to hear that a guy like Arnold went plant-based is crazy to me. I mean,
Well, it's not too crazy. I've got a buddy of mine.
I'm saying
that-
it's crazy to me
Oh,
to
okay.
hear it.
Well, and I've got a buddy of mine that just got into, started bodybuilding and stuff. Like he was already a pretty thick guy, leaned out, and he's a vegan, so he does a lot of the, vegan supplements.
It seems like it would
that.
be hard
Yeah.
hard
Yeah.
to get it in. Like, not impossible, but more difficult.
Right.
I would think.
Yeah.
I've done Whole30 for like 7 years.
Oh man, good for you. Whole30. Shit.
Well, it's like, I say that as I'm taking a sip of a beer. You know, it's like my.
I won't put that shot. Hurry, take a sip. There you go.
No. You can put it in there.
No, I'm joking.
No, but it's like, I do like the inverse, I think, of maybe what's the typical diet mindset. It's like, I'm going to diet, you know, for this amount of time and see if I get results. I do, Whole30 is my baseline, and then I cheat. I spend
Right.
as much time cheating as most people spend dieting. You know, and it's just like a healthier
Yeah.
inverse, I think.
I have a hard time. I say I'll cheat once every 3 weeks, maybe 4, and then I'll cheat once, and I'm like the next night I'm like, oh, it'll be a 2-day cheat. It'll be fine, and then it just
Turns into a week.
Football season is where it goes
football's
off the rails.
football's hard.
Rails for sure.
Well, we won't talk
Tailgate.
about football because you're not a big football guy, are you?
I'm not. No, I'm like the anomaly in my family. My dad played college football. He was pretty good. He turned down.
Was he at LSU?
No, at SMU.
SMU.
74 to 77.
Because you're a
running
LSU
back.
guy, right?
Well, I'm from Baton Rouge, but
Okay.
you know, I went to SMU.
Yeah, SMU, of course.
Same year. And both my brothers are very good at sports. They're just a little smaller. Not
Yeah.
that I'm big, or I'm just a little bigger,
Right.
you know. And yeah, I don't know. I just didn't care. I just don't care.
Hey,
but I like going. I have like tickets. I love it.
You know, I know-
love it. I just don't follow the stats. I
I'd
just
rather
don't care.
I'd rather you say that. I know a guy, and it's really funny because he just acts like he knows, just because that's what guys are everybody's talking about.
Right.
So he gets in there and he kind of nuzzles into it. He's like, oh yeah, and he'll say something. That's like that doesn't make any sense. That didn't happen, or something like that. I'm just like, I feel bad for that guy.
Although you're totally, I don't know. Like you can remember, okay, I played this golf course like 5 years ago. And
Yeah.
on hole 4, I remember my second shot,
Yeah.
put it about 30 yards out, and I'm like, what the?
I have a
and then-
good sports memory. It's really strange. Like
then-
I'll remember football plays from a game 6 years ago. With
Right, that's what I'm
Agner.
saying.
Yeah.
You know, if it hadn't been for that one, third down conversion
Right.
in the second quarter in 1985, then
Yeah.
they might not have won that game.
Would you like me to pick a game and?
No.
It might have something to do with how you process memories. So are you aware of the concept of a memory palace?
No.
So if this is an oversimplification, but you basically visualize a room in your house where you know where everything is, and you associate things that you're trying to memorize with certain items in that room. So if there's like a grocery list, you put it with like the lamp is the milk, the chair is the eggs, the side table is the tomatoes or whatever. And you visualize it that way, and then you go 2 years and you'll remember that list. And it could be that you in like in a sports realm, it kind of creates a sort of like restructured memory palace that makes it really easy for you to remember these facts.
Huh. I like it.
It's maybe the Scotch is Super Bowl one. The vodka is the second Super Bowl win.
I mean, look it up sometime. It's like crazy what people can remember.
What was it? Some memory palace?
Memory palace.
I like it. Trey, write that shit down.
Well, just like wives or girlfriends in my case, they remember random shit that you might have said, 3 months ago.
Yeah,
and
they're
next
better.
thing you know,
at
you're
it.
sleeping on the couch. It's like, what the fuck,
Well, I think they store it up.
It's like, and you really can't just say, no, I didn't say that.
And there go our female listeners.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Or the worst is you get in trouble. They have a bad dream, and then it's about you. And I was like, that was not real. I was not in the dream.
Yeah.
Like, why are you mad at me? I didn't do anything.
There was a Friends episode about that. by the
Yeah,
way.
there was one time somebody I was dating. I had a girlfriend, but a couple before my wife. But,
What?
Yeah,
That's not allowed.
I know
At all.
But I just remember one day I was getting yelled at because she's like, "I had a dream that you cheated, and I just can't get over it." I'm like,
Oh, shit.
you admitted right there that it was a dream. Like
yes.
let's reassess. Let's readdress that.
Yeah.
So anyway, but recent. I mean, I've had dreams like that too, and they suck.
Yeah.
They're real. You wake up and you're like, oh, what?
I
You're
definitely had those,
acting
yeah.
fishy today.
I tell you what, it was very weird. My second marriage, for about last year and a half, I had a lot of dreams about her leaving me, kicking me out, having to move into a new place by myself, and just how that was going to go and stuff like that. And sure enough, boom.
Yeah.
So that was weird.
And
I had
those are the ones that are
dreams.
weird. Is that when the one, and I've had some of those too, where you dream of something, you're like, what the hell, and then something very similar kind of goes on.
Right.
Where do you think you like the stress of your relationship? Like you were like seeing the signals, but your dream was trying to tell you this is
Probably.
coming.
Yeah.
Like
Because
it wasn't.
we were off for about 2 years. And so I just started wondering, okay, is this, is she pulling away? And so that might have led to the dreams of her, moving out, or me having to move out and stuff like that. So I'm sure that probably had a lot to do with it too. So
sorry, I'm sure that was stressful.
Well, I don't think it
We're gonna
helped
hug
that
this
she.
out afterwards.
Well, yeah. No matter what's said from here.
Well, and honestly, it was
the nighttime, daytime to me was that had to be really hard.
Well,
she worked at night.
opposite shifts, so she worked night shift. I worked day shift, so we were always just passing each other. It's like we'd have maybe.
That's worse than like a long distance relationship.
Yeah,
because at least you get like to see each other.
Right.
Well, and the majority of that time when we were bad, it was during COVID. So she's a respiratory therapist. So, I couldn't sit there while she's seeing this shit at the hospital and come home. Oh, please love me. Please hold me. So I was just kind of waiting that out to, settle down. And then.
And let's face it, you have needs.
It did not work.
You have needs.
Yeah.
So I built my forearms up pretty nicely during that time period. But
massages.
Yeah.
My back. Is that what it was?
A lot of
Well, I was massaging myself. But,
I thought you meant like giving her back.
Oh,
no.
Coming on.
No.
I mean, that would make too much sense for it.
I bought her a foot massage machine.
You heard him say divorced, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know.
So it could have been a little bit my fault
we
too.
don't call it. We call them successful divorces.
There we go.
Not
failed
marriage. A failed
not
Hey,
marriage.
if you're not happy,
Yeah.
Well, let's look. I want to get to you. I mean, this is why I like that you're here, is because I've had plenty of times where this has happened. We just go off and talk about a lot of interesting stuff. In fact, one of the first conversations I ever had with you, I don't know if you remember it. No, we won't go into detail, but it was in South Carolina.
It was in Charleston. It was
South
in the
Carolina.
bar at the hotel.
And all the other pussies had gone to bed.
Yeah, I remember the glass, the beer glass. It was like a smaller beer. It was like it was a cool beer glass. It had a handle.
Yeah, I think I remember that too.
I remember little details.
Yeah, there you go. See, I remember sports statistics, and you remember glasses.
I remember
and,
beers.
Hotel bars. And we had this conversation, and what I liked about, and this kind of leads into just you as a person, what I liked about the conversation with you is that you didn't ask me questions that everybody asks. You didn't look at me, and when you found out that I was a writer and that I had a master's in writing and that I in creative writing and that I had lived in Scotland, you weren't like, "Oh, how is Scotland?" or "What do you write?" It was.
So what are you trying to say?
It was when you that I like your. Don't worry, you can ask me those things, Trey.
Okay.
When you asked me questions, they were deep. It was like, okay, let's go to the next layer already, and I'll get these other answers through this question versus starting easy. He dug right in. I was like, whoa, and it was really fun, and I enjoyed that conversation. And I've always told my wife, I said that's why we got to get him on here, and look what's happened, and I love it already. I mean, we've talked. Trey and I have talked recently on this show about our list of this is how we're going to do the show, our set list, we call it, like we're a rock band. And you throw this thing out. I mean, tonight with you, especially in a good way. I have a few things I'm going to touch on, but this is great. And so I want to ask you about, I know it's difficult because I know that you consider yourself an entrepreneur. Trey, we need to look that up.
How do you spell that?
I could do it if I could write it down first.
ENTREY.
Oh, here we go.
No, entrepreneur.
Oh, I like it.
Boom.
That's your new handle on Adult Friend Finder.
There we go.
So, but you've done a lot, and you've explored a lot, and that's what I want to hear about and talk about a little bit. If somebody looks at you right now, and I don't admittedly, and that's being a bad friend, but admittedly, I'm not sure exactly what you do day to day. So if somebody looked at you and said, "What do you do in your life?" People say, "For a living." What do you do for a living? What would you respond with?
Well, right now in this moment,
Sure.
So it's funny that for the timing, we were supposed to finish pinning it today. I think maybe we'll wrap up some contracts tomorrow and really close on Monday. But I just finished a 3-year search. I've been looking for a company to buy, and I just I'm in the process of buying a logistics company.
Whoa!
Wow.
So
That's what an entrepreneur does, Trey.
Nice.
So I mean, I'll get into the what led me here,
Yeah,
but I basically set out about 3 years ago on a mission to find something unsexy but integral to our economy that was a little bit antiquated and needed a little bit of sophistication that no one was really looking at. So this is like the companies where their kids don't really want it, and they just kind of don't get it. And I don't think they get money, frankly. I think most people don't understand money, to be honest. But
I don't.
Yeah, so it was like I would find people and I'd say, I'd get the big numbers on the performance of their business and how long they've been around and what they do, and I'd see if it seems like, yeah, this is something to be around. Like I looked at a garbage company in Oklahoma and they owned the full stack. They had the landfill, they had the trucks, the routes, everything. Their valuation was too high, and I also didn't want to move to Oklahoma, so I didn't do that.
Sure.
And I looked at this is the 36th company I looked at. And I sat on one for a year. I really tried to make this medical device company work that I still really like. It just wasn't right. But it was like, I'm the son you never had. I'm going to come in. I'm going to do some MBA stuff, put some fresh blood into this. I'm going to keep what you've built growing. And, that MBA stuff, that like sophistication, adding software, adding like modernizing things, that's low-hanging fruit to increase the margin. So you purchase a company, and I'm probably going into too many details, but basically, you can buy a company based on current performance that will steadily grow. You can improve that performance, and you can outpace your financing servicing. So you really don't have to put that much money down to buy something. It's called like acquisition entrepreneurship, or a search fund. Yeah, I'm very excited about it.
Trey does seminars on that on the weekends.
No, but
every other weekend.
I've always been an entrepreneur. I was like the lemonade stand when I was little, and then I grew up in South Louisiana, and I always had some sort of job. Like I worked a lot of construction, cutting grass, and then senior year, a couple of buddies of mine and we put together a business plan. We got a loan from the bank when we were just turned 18 to buy a snow cone stand. Which we call them snowballs down there. Anyone listening from Louisiana, I'm sorry I called it a snow cone, but that's a translation thing.
Yeah, that's that rivalry between Louisiana and Texas.
No, they're snowballs.
Snowballs.
That's a cone. It's a cup with a ball on top.
But snowballs are also a product that are pink and have like cream in the middle. You know what I'm talking about? Little
that's
snowball.
Garbage hostess nonsense. But
it's like coconut.
Anyway,
shit.
I've always
good.
I've always been into starting companies, and then over time, I went to college and I did not study entrepreneurship or business. And I kind of got back to it at the end. I went in there because it's like, you go to college, everybody tells you to go to college. Yeah. It's like, what are you good at? And I was like, well, I'm good at math and science. And so I did, engineering and math were my degrees. And then I finished and I was like, yeah, I don't really want to do this. I wanted to be like Doc Brown. I wanted to be like building like amazing things. And the reality of an engineer is that like you're like a relatively, highly paid in the beginning, but kind of a low ceiling laborer designing a component of something. And it just wasn't what I wanted to be. And that kind of influenced me realizing that, and this is somewhat of a pretentious way to describe being an entrepreneur, but I think most people are artists. And I think my medium is just like businesses. Like that's where I want to create and do stuff. I got really into cooking. And I grew up in Louisiana. Everybody's into cooking. Everybody in my family cooked, and I was like, "Well, these nerds are going to cook for me. I'm not going to step foot in the kitchen."
It's like our buddy that didn't need to do his laundry.
Yeah, and it's But once you take away the servant, then you get good at something. So I got into it during Whole30 because it simplified things. Because there are only so many ingredients, so you have to be really good at them. But anyway, I kind of obsessed over chicken. And I was like, my chicken sucks. I had some good chicken at a restaurant. I obsessed over it for months. And I ended up making this rotisserie chicken, which anyone listening that wants to challenge me, I will make a better.
You're the better.
I've never had a better rotisserie chicken.
I think Trey and I, we're volunteering to taste test.
Yeah. I'm not going to cook one, but I will absolutely eat it.
Yeah, we're not going to cook. We don't cook. We eat.
Yeah. So I made this. I showed it to a bunch of people, and then
except my macaroni and cheese is the best. So fuck you.
My mom's good.
Oh, is it? I want to try it.
Oh yeah.
So then just sort of naturally, I was like, okay, these ingredients, I was like, okay, so there's oil and there's balsamic vinegar in this. There's too much of a variance on quality. And then we're going to have to put it in containers. That's hard for logistics. The dry part, that's really easy to move. It's really hard to contaminate. It's really easy to keep consistent quality. Maybe I'll package that. And then I started trying other things. And before you know it, I have an all-purpose spice brand, theballfoods.com. It's a website that's out there.
Nice.
And it's just, it went from me.
Say it slower.
Theballfoods.com.
The Ball Foods.
It's called The Ball Rub.
There you go.
Treat your meat.
That's
That's
that is
greatness.
amazing. I love it.
Trey's ordering it right now. He's already on the.
Yeah. Well, there's a camera. He's not doing it.
It might not be on him right now. Right?
Yeah, but
It's here.
Yeah, no, my point being that it was like, I was trying to create something, and then I just could not help but turn it into a business.
Yeah.
And then like
That's very cool.
I have this software app that's we've had a lot. We've tripped a little bit.
I wanted to ask you about the app and the process overall. So if you don't mind, like when you talk about this, getting into, because a lot of people think they can do an app and but it's not just here's the idea and go. I mean, Trey and I have some great ideas that we'll ask you about in a second. But I just, the app thing is just, that's where it's at, right? I mean, these days?
I mean,
these days.
like in the mid to early teens, that was like, you could throw something up there that really didn't have that much value and you could get super high valuations because VCs were going for it, the venture capitalists. Because it was, the VC model in itself is arguably flawed depending on what ecosystem you're in, because you're basically just handing the bag to someone else. So you put in an investment, and then you want someone else to invest in it. So you are incentivized to make sure that everybody thinks it's amazing, whether it is or not. And that it's kind of like this hype that keeps it going until someone, you IPO or someone big buys it, and like once that next round comes in, you get your money out, you don't care. They move on. So anyway, to create an app, I did it. I had an idea.
Is it similar to? I didn't mean to interrupt you. I tend to do that.
No, go ahead.
Is it similar to, say, something like a podcast where technically people can just throw it up there, or even a writer these days, to where any app can go out there and
Absolutely.
It can just be sitting there and nobody's touched it?
So there's like standards for the app stores that you have to pass to be able to publish.
Oh, okay.
And you also have to share a certain amount of your revenue. I think Apple, it's like 30%, whatever revenue you make through the app, you have to give to them.
Wow, 30%.
Yeah, no, it's high.
Like an Apple.
Well, they own the marketplace.
Yeah, right. I know that much.
But other than that, other than meeting their standards, if you got the skill, I mean, there are people out there, and they're high school kids that can blast an app out and get it in through submission. Yeah. And Apple submission's really fast now. It used to be it would take like a week. Now it's like that afternoon. Sometimes.
So are there apps sitting there that are just like
tons.
3 people have?
Of course.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
That's what I meant. Is it so saturated that it's just like?
Well, you pay a fee, and it's an annual fee to keep it in the store, and then you've got to you got to keep it on a server. We have my development partner for Mesh. That's the app. It's called Mesh, and it's supposed to help people coordinate and work better together for like group travel, which is a disaster for coordinating. But anyway, we keep it on. He's got a server. We keep it on that. Those are really your costs. You've got to do bug management because it's going to crash.
Right.
And if you want to improve it, you can. You don't have to. There's things out there like.
Well, you want to improve it as you go, right? I mean, that's the
some
goal.
things you can improve, like the flashlight app. How much better is that going to get?
Yeah,
or like a converter bot that like converts inches to meters. But
I'm talking about these apps that people come out with that they think, oh, this is it, and it does like all this stuff, but it's just so they didn't take the time, and they put it out there and it doesn't work, and
it's expensive.
Can you tell us? I don't know how the rules are, but what you did or what you were interested in for your app?
Yeah. So
and how far you got in the process?
Yeah. So like there were a lot of bachelor parties happening. Like spring break, I'd say is very similar. And weddings and stuff, and you go through the pains of like it's a big group and we have an email chain or a text chain, and it gets so long, and there's so much nonsense being thrown in there, but sprinkled through it is important information. It's like, this is my flight, I want to play golf, I get in on this day, who wants to share a room with me, and it's just impossible to triage all that stuff. So I said there's got to be a better way to do this. So what if we had like a page or for your event, for this thing that's happening, and it had the list of everybody that was coming. You could have like an activities board where people could say yes or no for golf. You could see everybody's flights.
Yeah.
You have like a full itinerary if it's like
Everyone's
a wedding
flights.
weekend.
I like that.
Yeah, so it's like
Seems very simple.
and a photo album too.
Yeah.
Because you're always texting pictures out of trips.
Right.
Like, just dump them into here, and then it's always there for you to access.
Well, you could you tell people, could they go sign on and look at the pictures? Like somebody that wasn't on the trip, or
I think it's inevitable that
Not
there's
yet.
ways to integrate other
Yeah,
people,
sure.
and then especially if you get like a business, like let's say you had like I think it's not like me giving away a secret sauce if we have like a premium version where wedding photographers set up a mesh page.
Yeah.
And then if you're in mesh, you get an invite, and then like the whole itinerary, let's say better yet, a wedding planner has a thing, and they are the quarterback for the whole thing. And then they give a link to your host, and they send it to all the guests.
Right.
And then all the pictures are in there, your itinerary's in there. If you're part of the wedding party, you get a separate itinerary. You can see everything, and it kind of just keeps everything in one place. And then you can always access it in the future.
Yeah.
I just encountered this annoying problem, and I was like, there's got to be a better way to do this.
Happens, yeah.
And I was like, what's the solution? And I was, apps were kind of becoming a thing. I was like, this is the way to do it.
You did it a while ago.
I did, and it's we had a lot of problems, and it was expensive and difficult.
Sure.
And we're still going. And
So that was my next question. I didn't know how to ask it.
I don't see
Where
it.
are you in the process?
So we launched the third version because we did one, and then we had a follow up to that, and it was sort of a Frankenstein, and it's kind of a problem.
So
to solve.
it's out there.
Yeah, it's out there right now. It's not complete.
Would you prefer to not?
You can go check it out. I don't think it's very functional at the moment. So
Okay, well, that's a great advertisement. Go to my app. It might not function.
May or
properly.
may not work.
I have a very expensive trademark I didn't want to lose. You have to have something on the market
right.
to keep it. And
I
we were
know
in the
that.
middle of development. So I said, look, let's divert some resources.
Yeah.
Because Lance did some work. He's my partner on this. And then we also were paying out of pocket for some developers overseas, some really good ones in Ukraine that we lost when all that went down.
Yeah,
but
that whole thing.
Yeah, so we, it was like, let's divert some resources to getting something that like will pass compliance.
Yeah,
So that we can
I
keep the
get that,
trademark,
yeah.
and then we'll go back to building the features. So everything is actually, picture it, it's like a shelf, but like you can't reach them yet.
Yeah.
So we're just connecting the dots right now to get this back out.
Okay, I'll
But-
leave it up to you
Nice.
if you want anybody listening to go just kind of check out the idea.
Yeah. Mesh.
Do you have a
dash.
cool? It's called Mesh.
Yeah.
I like
it's called
it.
Mesh.
Just like mesh
Yeah,
together.
because it meshes people
Yeah.
together. Mesh.
I would
dash
think.
app
I would
dot
think, Trey. I don't know what you think. I think that for weddings, there's got to be something similar, but that's
Batch.
fine.
There's one
There's
called
one called
Batch. I'm
Batch.
plugging my competitor, but
well.
yeah, it's like a bachelorette thing.
Go to the app that works.
Yeah, well,
about to
I don't know. I think
Come
I think it's kind of flawed, but
You know what? We're gonna bash Batch from here on out.
Right.
Every show.
Batch sucks.
Yeah.
Well, look, if I'm good enough, like who
That's
cares?
right.
It's
I like
not-
that mindset.
There is a marketing aspect to it, and I just gave them some free marketing. But I
we're
don't
good
know.
enough.
I've seen the way that they're going with it, and it's not the way that I want to take it. So
Right.
I'm not really that concerned. I'm not trying to corner the wedding market,
Right.
And they
Right.
kind of are.
And the focus is on the wedding market, and yours is just in general.
No, I have a
gathering.
different long-term strategy for
Yeah.
it, which I think could. I get so jacked up when I think about it, but
Yeah, we'll take it easy over there.
I'll keep it to myself.
I like it. I mean, I guess one of the things I was asking about is, so when somebody asks you, like, all right, what do you do? I mean, how do you lump all this together into one?
Okay, so I've had parallel careers for the last.
That's what I mean. So how are you supposed to like sum it
No,
up?
so I've been doing management consulting along the same time as doing startups. So I've probably done about 8 startup projects along the same time that I was doing freelance consulting.
Okay.
And then I took on a partner, and we had a firm, and we did about half advisory stuff for equity and half stuff for cash. And then we moved into a boutique firm. And then he was like, I'm not going to go with you. I'm going to do something else. I was like, that's cool. I'm going to do this. And it was right around the time when I started my master's. And then I was like, okay, it's kind of hard. That firm required too much biz dev. I couldn't hunt and clean the meat while I was
Yeah,
doing
right.
school. So I said, okay, I'll go somewhere where I'm just cutting, cleaning the meat.
Yeah.
And I joined a different firm, and then I've just kind of hopped around since
Yeah.
then. But I've done this while I've also been like, I started that spice company in college. I started a venture capital fund in college, and,
I'm hearing about those.
Yeah.
I guess I'm asking the hard question here. It's how do you sum that up in 5 to 10 seconds at a party?
I just say,
'Cause I guess let me preface this. I have a really hard time with it myself because when you sell someone, oh, I'm a writer. Okay, well, what do you write? Like we talked about. Oh, well, and I had a hard time answering it quickly. Okay, well, I prefer novels, but I really write short stories. But then I do sports freelance, and then I do freelance copywriting, and then now I teach writing, and then I'm doing a podcast. It's just like, how do you sum it up in like I said, a 10-second elevator speech? And that's hard from all that you're doing.
Sounds
how
like
do you
he's
do
a-
that?
well,
Sounds
yeah.
like he's a hustler. Is that he hustles?
How do you do that quickly?
Okay,
Yeah.
so I think the simple answer is I'm a consultant, but I also have some startup projects.
That's it. Okay.
And depending on who I'm talking to, maybe I'm just a consultant. And it's not because,
Your wife?
No, Whitney's,
joking.
Whitney's extremely
I'm
supportive.
just kidding. I know it.
There is a special place in heaven.
Let's
for
give
the wives and partners of entrepreneurs.
Yeah,
because they
yeah,
deal with
my
a
wife.
lot of bullshit. No, it's
I
just
think our wives deal with it together, and then they all go.
I guarantee you, they are right now on the phone talking about like us.
I think I heard him say this. I think I heard him say that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh God, what are they talking about?
And you have a
turn
lot
off
on
the
your
news
plate.
and like, what's going on with your family? What are your cousins doing?
Yeah,
Like,
well,
why are you bitching
I've
about
got
trans people?
my
Just, like,
kids.
get over it.
I got to pick up my kids. I got my own stuff. You've got your stuff. You got your bike riding. You got your
Man, I tell you what.
your pre-workout
Yeah.
and then your workout.
Yeah.
He takes this pre-workout and he's like, you got about an hour with me and then I'm going to pass out.
I'm gonna be done.
Does it get you like super jacked up?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's helped because I got to a point where I'd hit a wall at 2:00, and I was like, I went to the doctor. I was like, what's going on? And they did all the tests. Everything looks fine. So I'm like, shit. So I got the pre-workout going. So
Do you drink coffee?
no.
I don't either.
No.
Do you have a high
wish I didn't
sensitivity
drink
to caffeine?
I do take a caffeine pill in the morning.
Okay, well, that's coffee.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't drink coffee, but yeah.
I don't drink coffee, but
you don't- you don't-
enema
I have
that
You don't get the app.
I take the coffee pill, yeah. I'll take a coffee pill in the morning, and then I do the
Thing.
pre-workout around early afternoon, and then hit the gym. So
You don't get the acidity of the coffee. You don't get the acid. part.
Right.
Yeah. That's probably good for because you have reflux and whatever. No, who gives a shit about reflux? Let's move on. I want Trey to add, we have it here at Stay in the Great Podcast a few ideas for a business.
I'm scared to even bring this up.
No.
He is way too sophisticated.
No,
for this.
he'll have fun with it. Right, Ryan?
Yeah,
You're-
no, I want to
you'll
hear
have fun
it.
with
I love hearing
We
it.
have a business idea, and as how easy? I guess the question I have is how easy? Do we have two or just the one?
Well, we had the app idea. I don't know if that would work out, but
Yeah, the app idea.
yeah.
And then that one we'll see. But the other one was more of just the non-app business.
A business idea.
So I guess the only thing we need to know is how difficult would that be to get off the ground, and do you think it's worth it?
So it was brought up that with people living so much longer these days, that you really want to go after a market geared around the older people. And so me and Ryan were discussing, what kind of business idea we could think of that would really
seniors.
resonate around our senior citizens. Something that would benefit them. So we were thinking maybe like a senior citizen strip club. We've got Gertrude out there on center
we got
stage.
at least one laugh, a quick laugh.
We got the railing around the poles to keep them from getting hurt. What was the club in Dallas that has the showers? We could put railing up in the showers.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I've never been to a strip club in my life.
I mean, they close at 4:00 in the afternoon type deal. So I don't know how hard that would be to get off the
It
ground.
seems pretty easy. I just, we'll see.
If this is where your mind is going,
Yeah.
I think you should be like a comic writer, like comic writer, because these are like super funny anecdotes
Gotcha.
that if you like sketch them out,
You could do 5 minutes.
could be
Yeah.
lucrative. So
Okay.
I think maybe there's a business in that, and these like cartoons that you could, now it would have been like in newspapers,
Yeah.
but now it'd be like a social media account.
Great.
Okay.
So not so
Great.
much senior citizens.
Yeah. So you don't think that's a good ad?
I think that's a good
I
strip.
think you have liability. Your insurance is going to be a challenge.
Oh,
Gotcha.
yeah,
For sure.
insurance. See?
And then you're probably going to have to pay like a decent amount for real estate because you want proximity because logistics to get to your location.
Oh yeah, they're not going to want
And
to go
all the
very
ramps
far.
and everything to get the walkers up.
Well, you're going to
and,
need that for
wheelchairs and
compliance
stuff.
anyway.
Yeah,
You're
that's
gonna need
true.
that either way.
Okay, gotcha.
But you've got to be in a good location, close
Extra
to where the
compliance.
homes are, and the homes are usually close to where their the people that are paying for it, like their kids
Yeah.
or their
Oh,
family
yeah.
members might be. So I think you're going to pay a lot for real estate, and if you're closing at 4, there's a big part of the night that you're losing out on. But it could be it turns into something else.
Oh, yeah.
in the evening,
Like a
And
Luby's, so
I mean,
it's like,
Or a bingo.
there we go.
I don't know.
Bingo.
It's obviously like a funny idea,
Yeah,
like
okay.
to visualize as a joke for sure. But
Yeah.
See,
I don't think there's a.
Trey, I don't.
I'm
I
going
don't know
for
why.
the practical flaws,
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
I don't know
I
why-
don't think anyone would come in.
I don't know why he's saying it's funny. I thought this was a great idea.
thought it was-
Okay, so I was thinking of the other one that we mentioned on the show before, where we got. I don't know if you heard, Ryan. I'll let you explain it further. But we did a bit. Or not a bit. It was actually a serious topic about assisted suicide.
oh, yeah.
And about people who, whether that should be allowed, or there's 6 states that allow it, it's legal in, and so people will drive there and ask as a doctor or especially a family member being asked to do something like that. And again, I don't know if it's through oral pills or if it's an injection, IV, or I don't know how they would do it for assisted suicide. And if you know anything about that, please inform us, especially if we have a business idea. But
There is a business that does this. Yeah.
we thought about, is it were we
We're
falling
already lost.
behind?
Well, and I even came up with a slogan because our marketing.
But
lady-
you haven't tell the business. The business is we will be the ones to help do that because we have no emotional attachment to these people.
Right.
Yeah,
So we help
Personally,
pull
remember
the
Dr.
plug.
Kevorkian? This
Right.
is like what he was doing.
Oh,
Yeah.
And do you not remember that?
How we're
Oh
way,
yeah, absolutely.
we're way behind.
Yeah.
Okay, so that.
But he didn't have a cool slogan like us. So.
Okay, Trey,
okay.
give the slogan, and we'll see. And I bet Ryan jumps on board, and this will be his next venture.
So stay in the gray brings the ass to help you pass. So assisted suicide service.
No,
You think that would bring in the customers? No?
I think that giggle had in his mind. He's like, oh yeah.
I think he wants to invest.
Okay, you guys, this is good podcast content.
Yeah.
Wait, was it what was it on Step Brothers? Are you going to invest or not?
Investors, possibly you. Last week,
yeah,
we
are you gonna-
microwaved a bee. Yeah.
The Nina,
that made
the,
me so-
the
Right.
Nina, the Pita, the Santa Maria.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Okay, so no,
think
that's
that
not.
would
That's
work out.
not. So we need to keep
Strike
thinking.
2.
there's a
Yeah.
company in Europe that does this though. They're like pods, and it looks like have you seen Aliens? Right.
Right.
Like the like
Which
stasis
one?
pods
The-
they sleep in. Just anyone.
Any of
Those
them.
pods where it's like a glass window and they're there
Yeah,
to sleep.
that's what Trey sleeps in.
Picture that, and they'll put it anywhere. If you want to be like on the cliffs of, maybe not in
You, like,
UK,
push it off the
I think
cliff,
I
or-
think it's. I'm gonna misquote this. It's in Switzerland or Sweden. They put you in there, and it fills up with a gas, and you slowly fall asleep, and you just pass away.
Oh,
Wow.
And it's a real thing.
With a beautiful view.
And a friend of mine's aunt was like, "Oh, this is it. I'm gonna do it." And we were all at like a dinner. I was like, "Is she?
yeah. This
serious?
is
Like,
this is
really
assisted
happening?"
suicide is a thing, and it's
So-
And her sister was like, "Shut the fuck up with this thing."
So you put it close to the cliff.
you put.
Just in case the gas doesn't work, you just kind of
I mean,
No?
who would know?
that's what
Yeah.
we would do. We'd show up and we'd leave.
like, oh shit, they're kicking.
We'd
But
leave-
it's apparently it's a thing. I don't know. This brings up some business conflicts.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot of money in treating sick people.
Right.
And old people, you could argue are debatably sick. Their sickness is end of life.
Right.
And it's just being extended. It can be lucrative to keep someone alive.
Right.
Especially someone with like a very good pension or, that
Sure.
keeps paying as long as they're alive. So there was that.
Should it
move-
not be their choice?
Oh, there have been people that have gotten in trouble for this, but I'm just saying, I could see people who have interest in keeping that business propped up, arguing against this, and
Right.
creating the argument that no, you shouldn't have a choice. But it's obviously your life. People aren't going to jail for trying to commit suicide.
Right.
Right.
Are you surprised that it's only 6 states, or do you think that even having 6 is a lot?
I
Do
don't
you
know,
think
man.
do you have an opinion? Should it be allowed?
I
I mean, you don't have to have an
I
opinion.
think people should do whatever they want.
that's what we thought.
It's Yeah, you do it. It's your life.
But what about what if
I would
you,
hope
what if you
I hope
get-
you try some other things before that's.
But
your
what if you
option,
what if you get
know,
to the
like-
point, and I have a personal experience with this because of my grandmother, but what if you get to the point, say it's Alzheimer's, what if you get to the point where you're mentally checked out and you can't make that decision, or you really want it but you can't quite pull the trigger, no pun intended, on making that decision, but that's what you really want, or if your family members are just making you feel guilty about it, or you know what I mean?
Dude, it's a tough call. If you want out, and,
Yeah.
and that's where you are, punch out. Do you ever seen that movie Still Alice?
I haven't seen that movie.
It's so I watched it once, and it's an amazing movie, and I don't want to ever watch it again.
Right, it's one of those.
Sounds like The Notebook.
No, but it's because it was so sad.
Yeah.
Well, there's Alzheimer's and that shit too. That's
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about? Yeah.
I don't want to ruin too much of it, but it's a young person with Alzheimer's.
Still Alice.
Still Alice with Julianne
Okay.
Moore.
Okay,
And,
go watch that, everybody.
Yeah, there's like a scene where she basically, when she's lucid, she like sets a trap for herself to
Right.
make
Oh,
sure that she dies, and she loses focus in the middle, and she can't
man.
even do it.
Yeah.
And it's just like she goes from like a PhD professor at like Columbia
Yeah.
to like can't even remember her name.
Wow.
You know, it's like just sitting there eating ice cream.
So
like
sad.
doesn't remember anything. You know,
That sounds like that sounds like a one and done for me. Like I'd love it and then be like no more.
it was really well made,
Yeah.
really good performances. Alec Baldwin plays her husband. He does a good job.
Yeah,
You know,
he's good. I don't always agree with that guy, but he's good at what he does.
yeah, he's a little goofy in his public.
Yeah,
life.
but he's
a
good at
actor.
he's great at what he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a lot of cameos. Alec Baldwin. I'm sorry we keep talking movies, but do you remember even the movie? Was it Along Came Polly?
Yeah.
with
Oh, yeah.
Ben Stiller and Aniston.
Yeah.
and he comes in. He's the boss, and he walks into the bathroom. He's like, after he peed, he's like tickling his
Rubs
ear,
his ear.
like
Yeah.
rubbing his moustache.
Yeah. Whenever he's done talking,
Yeah.
he says, "Good things.
Yeah, good things, good things.
Good things." Ruben, we're gonna get this deal. Good things.
It's just he's so. And in 30 Rock, he was fantastic.
Yeah.
And I thought he almost stole the show over Tracy Moore. I mean, it was great. Anyway, good.
But
good-
again,
good
I
actor.
think this whole like should it be allowed or not thing is like just another like who
Sure.
can just do whatever you want, man.
Right.
Yeah, and why are 44? Did I do that math right? 44 states not. Why do they think they feel that they can say you can't make that decision? You know,
I don't know.
Yeah,
it's it's a thorny one.
that was a hypothetical. I just-
But I know healthcare is a lucrative business. That's a lot of tax dollars in your state. You know, I'm not saying that's the reason,
Right.
But those incentives are there, and we do have
Yeah.
So because of
a lot
that,
of corruption in our political system.
because of that, do you think
What?
there's ever going to be a cure for like cancer or anything like that?
I don't know. There's
This-
it's way more lucrative to treat cancer patients than it is to cure them.
oh, here we go. This is interesting. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm a strong believer that you can follow the incentives. There's still good people that'll make good decisions, but in the end, if you have an institution that incentivizes people to make morally compromising decisions, it will attract those people.
Yeah.
And that's why our political system is the way it is, and that's why businesses can, industries can get out of hand.
Should I even suggest that that's my opinion about vaccines?
I mean,
For the
you
for
can
the
if you want.
for the thank you
Yeah.
for the COVID vaccines. I just feel like there's more to it. It's not just like
I mean,
it's
people made a lot of
How much
them.
money?
They made money on them.
Yeah,
Sure,
that's what I'm saying.
Did we need one? Probably. Like,
yeah.
come on.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but yeah, okay.
Again, didn't know what was going
Look,
on.
Trey's about to be a zombie because of one of those.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I saw him biting the mic, the microphone over there a minute ago.
I can stick a quarter on my arm too, and it just sticks right there.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that the other thing there? Oh, that's right.
I feel
Yeah.
like once a month there's like some conspiracy theory.
Right.
Right.
Like this is it. This is the trap
Yeah.
door.
Yeah.
They set with that vaccine.
I love how he says it with the southern accent
Yeah.
because it's all like the.
Because
Yeah.
it's like it used to be the village idiot was ostracized, and now they get on the internet and they find their friends, and then they get really
Yeah.
strong and
Yeah.
really loud,
Yeah.
and then some people that are like not quite realize that they're idiots join on board, and then it's too late.
Do you think? Do you think on that note? Somebody said this to me the other day, and I didn't agree with the numbers, but I agree with the premise that the extremists, first off, that's my opinion, that they're the problem on both sides. And that's why we always try and stay gray, right, buddy?
Right.
And on both sides. And somebody said to me, they believe truly that it's 5% on both sides that we hear because they're the loudest and most obnoxious, and that 90%, I think that's high, are sitting like we are in the middle going, hey, let's just talk issue to issue, case by case, and we're fine. Because otherwise, elections would be different, everything would be different. I think the premise is right. I just think the numbers are low. What do you think?
I think they're not that's not far off, but
really,
you're hearing about those loud people. You're hearing about them because their absurdity is very intriguing. It's like intrinsically interesting. It's like people like
entertainment.
Yeah, it's like people like to research about Nazis because it's like, wow, they are like, how did they get here?
Yeah,
so like the History Channel, it was like all the World War II stuff before they turned into whatever the History Channel is now. That was like the most interesting stuff. Because you're like learning about the Nazis and all these it's like, how could they do this? How did Germany, how did it get to this point? How did fascism grow like this? And it's the same thing. It's like, look at what this liberal did over here, or look at what this redneck did, this conservative racist did over here.
You got to change the accent.
I mean, sure, I don't know. I'm just picking woke,
I know, I'm joking.
Like a silly accent.
Yeah.
No, okay. Look at this racist.
There you go.
Or like, look at this liberal. There you go.
There it is. There you go. Right there.
I was going to do Arnold for both. Yeah.
So. No. We're gonna we'll get some more Arnold.
Look at them. But
that may be the clip I do advertising this now.
Right.
No, but it's we need the fairness doctrine back, and that's
fired up. You're hitting the mic.
That's a whole other conversation. But the news organizations are for-profit organizations. Their prerogative is to sell ads.
Yeah.
And the more engagement they get, the more ads they sell. So what's going to guarantee engagement? Provocative information.
Right.
So if I am focusing on conservative people, I'm going to show you the most ridiculous enemy you've ever heard of in your life, and I'm going to get you so riled up that this person is the source of all your problems, and they're coming to ruin your life.
Right.
And on the other side, and I hate to say the word side because these sides are totally fabricated to generate profits for everybody that has an interest in it. But on the other side, it's the same thing.
That. Right.
No, I think the sides are nonsense. I think the side is it's Americans and the people making these rules that are getting really rich again because they're incentivized to do it because there's no accountability. But
let's save that for the next time we have you on if he comes back, because I would like to talk about it. I mean, I know we didn't want to do a ton of politics, but I'm intrigued because I don't disagree with everything, but there's some things that there's a lot of stuff that you and I have, and I'm sure Trey too, that it's we're all kind of in the same. I might kind of go over here. I don't totally agree, but it's not way over on the sides that you.
But you're still like picking a side. You seem to pick a side.
Well, you're calling me out on my own show. I love it. I love it. I've said on the show many times that I am independent, lean right for political reasons. I want political right policies pushed when it comes to what I think a central government should be in charge of, which should be economic policy, foreign affairs, border security, these types of things. I think that a lot of the social issues should be state by state. And that to me doesn't matter on a president. If we're just talking about executive, I'm not talking about city council and all that bullshit. We could. Trey, do you want to talk about city council?
PTAs and stuff like that.
PTA. And so, I like that you called me out. So, in my opinion, if I don't pick a side when it comes to voting for our president, are you talking about president or just in general?
I just mean, look, if you're saying I'm only a little bit in or I'm all the way in, you already picked a side. What's the difference?
Well, because I'm just telling you, telling you straight up, if you went by all the issues that politicians are quote unquote in charge of, and I went, that seems to be okay. You can't tell me that trickle down economics isn't a right wing belief or a right wing policy versus the left side who doesn't believe in that. I happen to go that direction, so therefore I have to label it right because that's what everybody else has labeled it. So what else would I call it? And I'm legitimately asking, what would I call it? Instead of saying I'm neutral, lean right, what would I call it? Just neutral and issue by issue? I mean, I don't know what to call it because everyone else has labeled it.
I wouldn't try and put anything in a box. I think you put it in a box, it just like makes you easier to control because you pick a side, and then that side is going to tell you the things they care about, which is happening right now.
But you have to be responsible enough to look at the other side as well, which is what I believe that I do.
Okay.
Some people say that I don't, but I mean I do. I mean people need to understand that I don't look over here at these right wing sites and this just because I said I lean right and that's all I go by. If something that a right wing site like you said, and I respect that completely, says, hey, check this out, and they're trying to draw people in, I get that. That's not me. I'll go, oh, let me check this out because everybody likes to be entertained, and I'm looking at it, but I'm not going in there going, oh, I can't believe this.
There's a lot of people that do that.
I know, and I agree with you.
You know what I've noticed? Like, and I don't really, if you look at Fox News and then look at some liberal news, just a funny thing that I noticed.
Just Fox and CNN. Just do those two.
Sure.
Yeah.
There is so much more celebrity news on Fox. Take a look next time you look at them. That's interesting. Way more celebrity obsession.
That's why Trey watches Fox. He wants to know what happens with Ariana Grande.
But I think it's consistent with what I'm talking about. It's like look at these people. Hate them. Here and there.
Yeah.
Gotta hate these people. Gotta hate them. Hate them hard.
Right.
It's like,
well, but and then what? But I wouldn't argue that CNN has their own approach, which is
hate is a dopamine trigger. It's just like our cell phones are designed to be a dopamine trigger. These things are designed to be addicting.
Talks to him. Trey's cell phone tells him what he should do and not do in life. Did you know that? Trey's cell phone tells him he needs to get some enhancement.
Was it the enlargement pills and stuff, which don't work?
They really told you that?
No.
Well, no, they fire up these
advertisements keep popping up saying,
randomly.
Here's how you really please a woman, and do you need those extra few inches?
It's because he's Android.
Maybe check your mic permissions. That's listening to.
Right.
No, that's what I'm thinking. There's somebody listening there going, oh.
I don't know. That's like you got to close Instagram when you're not.
My phone should see I've bought the pills multiple times and it has not worked yet. So stop sending them to me. So
yeah, I'm done with these.
I've taken pictures. It should see them, So
let's first off, I've got to hear some more Arnold. I knew we were going to go way long, and that's great. I love it.
Yeah.
Let's hear some Arnold. Do you mind doing some more? Because I'm fascinated by people that can do impressions. And if I do an Arnold, do you want to hear it? Get down on the ground. Like it's just not.
Wait, do more. Do more. That was so good. What was that? I have a surprise impression for you too, because you asked me about impressions. But I want to hear so
what
much
is it?
more.
Let's see. Who's your daddy and what does he do?
Say, get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper.
That was your best one.
Not bad,
it's
right?
not a tumor.
It's not a tumor.
See, I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want them answered immediately. Ooh. Who is your daddy, and what does he do?
I love it. I feel like I'm watching the movie.
Right.
What a great movie, by the way.
Yeah.
What movie was it?
Kindergarten Cop.
Ah.
Have you not seen that kid?
I've seen part of it.
Wow, we might lose listeners because you haven't seen Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic film.
Apparently, I need to watch more damn movies.
One of Arnold's best. He was undercover as a cop as a kindergarten teacher. That's where you hear the clip of the little kid going, boys have a penis and girls have a vagina. That's what that was from. But anyway, I'm impressed with your you said you have a surprise impression?
I do. You were asking me about impressions earlier.
Yes.
I couldn't think of a third one, but I have a good one.
Perhaps she's wondering why someone would shoot a man before throwing him from a plane.
Ooh, that was good. Yeah. I love the echo.
That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
It's like you basically do Sean Connery into a cup. That's how you do Bane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And this gives you power over me?
Oh, I like it.
That's a good one.
I try Connery too, like Shane Moneypenny.
Yeah. It's like
Moneypenny.
Perhaps she's wondering.
Perhaps she's wondering.
Like that's basically the secret to Bane.
That's very nice.
Oh man, that's great. Yeah. So let's ask Ryan real quick about our question that we want to start asking about the woman's last wish, her last dying wish.
Okay, so we did a story not too long ago where the woman had a dying wish that she wanted to sleep with her ex one last time.
So she asked her husband, Can I sleep with my ex?
One last time is her dying
And I think
wish.
they were married 15 years.
We'll make something up. I don't remember how long they were married, but
We don't really care
I can't
about
even
the facts.
imagine. Yeah. It wasn't an 80-year-old couple or anything
No,
like that. So
they were like in their. I think she was dying of something really tragic,
Yeah.
like cancer or something. And so, what would you do as the husband? That was our question. We couldn't figure. I can't imagine letting my wife. I'd be pissed. I'd be like, what the?
yeah.
Like, first off, what can I do to be better? And you dying now, so it's.
Yeah. Give me one more shot. Let's see. Yeah. Pull those
I know
pants down right
exactly
now.
what I'd say.
All right, what would you say?
It would be extremely painful for you.
You set it up so.
I like it. That was a good setup. I don't know. We just couldn't figure it out. So do you think that that's a legitimate request, or do you think that's kind of like, all right, that's unfair to the husband, and that's all he's going to ever remember? You know?
I don't think that's a very nice thing to say.
Yeah. Okay. And we're kind of on the same.
Yeah.
Page. I can't imagine anybody's like, yeah, good.
ridiculous.
I mean,
Good for her.
Let me
Go
ask
get
this.
yours.
Wait, so
does
hold
it
on.
matter to the age? You know, if you're 90 and she's 89,
Yeah,
she wants
maybe
to,
that's
you know,
different.
does that matter?
Maybe it depends on the husband, but so just to recap, she's dying. He's taking care of her while she's dying, and
Right.
she goes, "Yo, this guy that I used to hook up with,
Yeah.
I would like to see."
No,
him."
but didn't she say literally that he was better?
He was the best. Yeah, he
He's
was
the
better.
best
Yeah.
at
yeah,
sex.
I think she sounds like not a nice person.
Yeah.
honestly.
Right.
no.
So even at 90.
Not going to happen.
Well, there was that story I also gave you about a 99-year-old man who divorced his 97-year-old wife because he found out she slept with another man 50 years ago.
Dude, you know nursing homes
50
have
years
like
ago.
rampant STD.
Oh,
issues?
yes.
I bet
Absolutely.
I bet it's. I've heard about.
Absolutely.
Look, I'm not going to tell you how I've heard about it. Maybe some grandparents and stuff. It sounds like a party in
Yeah.
there after
Apparently.
Checkers.
Good for them.
It's going. Checkers.
I've been to a few of them.
Checkers.
But,
5:30 dinner and like let's get rolling. And the
you just bring a glass of water for Gertrude to put her teeth in. Let's roll.
God.
Wow.
I love how every old woman you talk about is Gertrude.
Gertrude, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Maud.
a pretty good like
It's a good
Yeah.
Maud.
Good go-to name.
old lady name.
Maud. You like Maud too.
Maud. Yeah.
Maud.
That's a good one.
Dorothy maybe.
Dorothy.
What
That's a good
about
one.
for men?
Betty?
Ted, don't put
Ted.
it out with your boots, Ted.
Yeah.
A man like Herbert.
Herb.
Gus. No, like
Gus. That's a good one.
I don't know. I'm just thinking
Harry.
of Harry.
Harold.
yeah.
Harold. There you
Harold.
go.
Wasn't there
Harold.
like 20
The
names?
traditional root word
Yeah.
of names that are like down the line. It
Harold.
needs to be more upstream
So not Bob, but
in
Robert.
the lexicon.
Robert.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
A lot of Bob.
I don't know about Robert.
Cliff? No.
Clifford.
Anyway.
Clifford.
Stanley.
Yeah.
Stanley,
anybody
there you
look.
go.
Anybody. By the way, we're going to do about 10 minutes of this. So no. This has been fun. We do a bit on the show. And you, I know you've listened to some of the show, Ryan. Mm-hmm. It's called an awareness of self-awareness. Did I say that correctly?
You did.
Okay, it's only taken me 45 shows to get that right. An awareness of self-awareness. And I should have asked you this before so you could be prepped. Can you think of a type of person? We always have people that piss us off and that need to be more self-aware of their surroundings, of people around them. Driving is a big,
That was immediately.
driving. We do all sorts of driving ones. I think you've done some ones in the gym, of course, and bike riding bullshit.
Yeah.
You said that somebody had a dog when you were whatever.
Whatever.
But can you think of one right away, or Trey? You had one tonight in the gym that I thought was great for this segment.
Oh, about the teenager.
The lady watching the movie.
Oh yeah, she was
Yeah,
on a crunch machine, and I walk up and I say, "Hey, do you
How
mind if
old
I-"
is this woman?
If I had to guess, she's probably in her 60s.
Oh, she was.
Yeah.
Oh, she was old.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say.
I was
old,
like,
old.
can I work in on this machine? It's my last exercise. And she's sitting there with her phone, flipping through something, sitting there, and then she sets it on actually the weights that slide up and down. She sits her fucking phone right there. So I'm like, what is she doing? And then she proceeds to not use the machine to do the crunches, but she does crunches
Yeah.
without the weights. I was like, you could do that over there.
She could do it on the floor.
Yeah, you could do it on
Next-
the floor.
next to the machine.
Although I don't know
Yeah.
if she can get back up off
That's
the floor.
true.
But maybe that's why she was doing it. But yeah.
Yeah. Did you see what film she was watching?
No, at that point when I saw she wasn't even using the damn machine, I was like, well, this is going to take forever. So I left.
Well, devil's advocate, maybe it was hard for her to get on and off the machine.
That's what
true.
I said. Maybe she couldn't
true.
get off the floor. And later I was like, okay, maybe
or
that's
on and
easier.
off the machine, like
Yeah.
super settings. She's just like, please, like ignoring you, like, please God, just let me finish my workout.
Yeah.
I can go home.
And I was trying to be nice. I was just
Way
like,
to
hey,
bring
can I-
empathy to our
Can
show.
can I work in with you?
Usually
you know,
there's
you do
like
a set, I'll do a
realistic
set.
middle ground.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's just
But
say.
that won't work for our show.
Okay.
Yeah,
No
I
realistic
got
middle
some
ground.
gripes. I'll throw some gripes.
There we go.
Let's just say that if it was, say, a 30-year-old woman, then it's different.
Sure.
Okay. But if she's an older woman and she's not that mobile.
Well, let's not watch the movie. Let's go and finish the
Okay.
exercise.
I see
Watch
what
the
you're
movie
saying.
when you take
Regardless
your
of
ass
age.
home. Yeah.
Regardless of age, don't watch the movie
Yeah.
when people are waiting to use them.
When she goes to our senior citizen
I
strip
think
club.
I'm with Trey.
Yeah.
I actually had this happen at the gym like 2 weeks ago. I was like, hey, I'm going to work in here. Are you cool? And he was watching like a Vietnam War movie. Like a young guy. I said, hey, man. And he didn't say, I said, fuck it. And I just started working.
Right.
You know, like,
It was an intense scene. You had to finish it. It was like 20 minutes long.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It might just be that everybody in this gym, they bring like tripods and stuff.
Yes.
And it's priced well and the equipment is really good.
Yeah.
But like, there's a lot of nonsense in here. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay.
Well, there was a kid today. Every set he'd finish a set, and then he'd do like 3 or 4 poses in the mirror.
Oh.
You know, he probably weighed about 110 pounds. I'm like, what is he fucking looking at in the mirror? They're just flexing.
It's a
Yeah.
short set. Well, it's a short-term gratification mindset.
You-
You
you-
just look like you need to be 5. It takes you like months to like
Right.
really start to.
But
look
you've
past-
all-
Something, you know?
You've also admitted to looking at yourself
Oh, I
in the
did,
mirror.
yeah. I almost got completely naked because everything looked great in the mirror. But like, I got to see how far this goes.
Hey, Trey, that's another.
Before you
look,
knew it, the cops were walking in.
Yeah.
Sir.
Ryan, that's
your
that's
pants
the
back
business idea is getting whatever
These mirrors,
whatever
yes.
mirrors these gyms use to make you look so
Man.
good. We need to get those and sell those.
I
motherfuckers.
think it's the
myself.
lighting more than anything.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
So I need better lighting.
Yeah.
On our date, if I go on a date, I need great lighting. Hold on, let's flip
Have you
these
seen
lights on.
Pumping Iron?
No.
No.
This is the documentary that like put Arnold on the map.
As soon as documentary was said, I was like, no.
It's about Arnold winning the Mr. Olympia against Lou Ferrigno in the 70s.
Okay.
Ooh, I'm intrigued.
Oh my gosh, you got to watch. It's insane. You're like, I can't believe I'm watching.
You're
this
telling
movie about
me.
these guys
You're telling
where-
me
It is so interesting.
Conan beat the Hulk.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the
Whoa.
Terminator beat the Hulk.
Whoa.
Boom.
Yeah,
That's all that Ferrigno did. We can't keep going with Ferrigno,
Yeah.
right?
yeah. No, I mean he kind of played himself after that, but
He did something on like King of Queens. I think he did.
Oh yeah. He was on King of
I
Queens.
mean he's not. It's like hard to put him into something because he's huge and he's like can't talk that well.
Yeah,
'cause he's
yeah,
bad.
he can't talk. He was in a movie.
So
with,
Arnold, how did Arnold make it then?
Yeah, how did he make it?
That guy is just pure charisma, and he's also like he said in that documentary, he just visualizes things and he makes it happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's a very talented and
I think-
impressive person.
Yeah.
I think
he's also very smart. I think he's way smarter than Lou Ferrigno.
I think
believe
No
that.
offense to Lou, but
Yeah,
Arnold is.
Well, Lou was
intelligent person.
Lou was going to come on the show.
Well, Lou just runs around in torn shorts,
That's
you know.
right.
I mean,
and just
Arnold was fucking Terminator.
You know, I think Arnold is Ryan's man crush. Don't you?
I think so.
think
I have a lot of respect for him. I don't know. that I
No,
really
let's
man-
yeah, but that respect.
So if he came to you
do.
today and said, you know what, let's cuddle for a little
Yeah.
bit,
Cuddle,
you know.
I'd be like, I'm good.
that'd be kind of weird.
Yeah,
All right,
like,
all right.
I don't want to cuddle.
All right, so
No, you don't cuddle
look,
with Arnold?
He draws a
If
line.
he said, "Hey, do you want to smoke a cigar?" I'd be like, "Wow, greatest day ever. Let's
But
do it."
it's-
But you
As
have
soon
to
as-
cuddle
as-
after the cigar.
as soon as
I mean, I'd like give him a hug, maybe like a quick hug,
You do a hug?
like a hello
A
hug.
little pat hug?
Like, hey, what's up?
but as soon as he had
you don't know me. Why would he hug me though?
Well,
That's in itself is
but
already
as
weird.
soon as he put his hand
That's-
on his leg, things get awkward.
Done.
Yeah.
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 No, I'm good.
All right. Well, see, because Trey wants that to happen with The Rock.
The Rock. Oh yeah, you talked about this
Yeah.
on one of the shows.
And Jason Statham,
it's
yeah.
Jason, so
Yeah.
that was my question earlier. We went off on important things,
Right.
With
You know,
Ryan.
Jason Statham was an Olympic diver.
Oh,
Yeah, and he played soccer too.
Okay, take it easy, Trey.
Yeah, he was like in a music video, just like dancing in a Speedo.
Are you serious?
Hey, whoa,
Yes,
whoa,
you
whoa.
gotta find
Oh
this.
my god, I gotta find this.
Trey's not going to be able to stand up for a while.
I'm gonna bring this.
Dude, he's just like he's doing this.
Trey, look,
And I can picture it. Did he have hair in the video though? At that point,
He may have had a little, but I think he was mostly bald. He's pretty
Gotcha.
skinny though.
Yeah.
This is like before Lock Stock, like back when he was like still, like diving.
gotcha.
Like there's videos of him diving out there.
look at Trey.
Go
He's
check
all
that out.
riled up.
Yeah.
Can't stand right now.
Go get a Statham Speedo.
Did you ever see Romper Stomper?
No.
No, Mean Green. Mean Machine.
Man, we should do a.
Mean Machine. They made the what was that movie where Adam Sandler went to prison and it was a remake of the
Yes.
Burt Reynolds movie?
Oh.
They did that but with soccer and it was Vinny
Oh,
it was
okay.
Vinny Jones. The
Okay.
Bullet Tooth Tony from Snatch.
No.
Like
Yeah, Ryan-
total
Ryan's seen
angry
everything.
British guy.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Okay.
He was like the soccer hooligan in Euro Trip. He was like the head.
Oh, yes,
you know
yes,
what I'm
yes,
talking
yes.
about?
I do
Vinny
know. Yes,
Jones,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
We've seen Euro
yeah,
Trip.
I've
Yeah,
seen Euro
it's-
Trip. Yes.
he goes to prison and he's like the whatever, but just Statham's in there and he's like this karate knowing like freak that no one wants to talk to, and he turns him into a goalie.
Nice.
But it's like a soccer
Mean
game.
Machine.
They play the guards.
Okay,
You know,
I
it's
have
the
to go
same
watch
thing.
that. Okay.
Yeah,
But
there's a
with
bunch
soccer.
of cool. Man, come on, dude.
Oh, look. Look.
I have to do that.
Trey's.
I must not be a good Statham fan.
No, he's
Just
going to go
saying.
home
good
tonight.
I've
You're
got a
gonna
I Heart Statham T-shirt, but I guess that doesn't make sense.
No, you're going to go home tonight and check that film out.
I am?
Oh, yeah.
I thought I like those.
I was going to ask
With
you.
some happy tissues.
all the questions we were. God. He always brings it to happy tissue.
Sorry.
If we were. The questions I was asking earlier about the where would you do it and I was going to ask you if you had to choose on the seesaw with The Rock or Jason Statham. Those are his two boys.
I think Statham would be a little bit
You think
more flexible.
Statham?
Yeah.
No.
The Rock is just too big and bulky.
The Rock would just fucking.
Yeah.
He'd
I don't think The Rock would stop talking about him.
he would manhandle you.
He would
Oh,
just
yeah,
he would
does.
just talk about himself as a third person. That guy is such a narcissist.
Although I wouldn't have to worry about holding myself on the
That's-
on the monkey
That's
bars
true. I
because
think
he
Rock-
got us.
I think
So,
both of them.
Yeah.
Both of them
He
can
turned
handle
into a
it.
workout.
Yeah, he'd have
be
me
like-
in one hand and the hand anyway. So
On that note, I can't end with that. So, any other self awareness? Do you have any? Could you think of any that bother you, like the grocery store, or to me,
other parents.
other parents, or anything like that?
Yeah, no, I'll definitely give you a parent one.
Give me a parent one
There's
before we
there's like a
wrap it up.
carport. Like there's two cars can get through. It's a carport, so you pick up the kids, you pull in your car. There will be parents that will pull in and block the second lane, get out, leave the door open, walk off,
Oh,
find
yeah.
their kid, and I'm sitting there with a loaded car, like waiting. I'm like, why did you do this?
Yeah, you can't
like
go
you
anywhere.
couldn't park in the parking lot if this was your plan,
Right.
But they
know,
probably put their hazards.
One is the
on it.
passing lane. No, not even that.
Not even that.
No, it's definitely a pet peeve. I've complained about it to my wife. I even called out. I saw a friend of mine do it, and I saw her like a week later. I was like, "Hey, please don't do that." Like,
Immediately,
and
like,
she's like, "You need to relax." I was like, I need to go home, and I
Right.
can't because you're blocking me,
Right.
And I don't appreciate it.
yeah. Hey Ryan, how are you?
It's just not
Let
aware.
me tell you.
It's just I'd say the general gripe is not being aware of your surroundings.
There you go.
I also hate
the point.
littering, and but I think that's just like a more of a general complaint. I think people litter and know they're littering.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my big one was as I knock shit over. This is what we do on this show. One of my complaints is spitting. I understand sometimes people, whatever, you have to spit, but there was a guy at the grocery store that spit like over my kid into the trash can.
Gross.
Did you really need to spit right there? Could you? I mean, you're an adult. Anyway, things like that. So that's what this segment's all about. Think about it. When you see, and I know now from here on out, when you're going to be driving around and something's going to happen, you're going to go, "This is great for
the show."
That
I'll
segment.
just text you.
Just text me,
Like, you need to complain about this.
yeah, and I'll give you credit for it. Be like, right. Yeah, so we do it every show. At the end of the show, it's kind of like a bitch fest, and it lets me vent because people piss me off, and
But we got flagged for hate speech.
we
because
did
of that.
Yeah,
so.
we got flagged for hate speech because I bitched about people backing into a parking spot while everybody's waiting, and he does it.
Yeah.
There's I think it's an army saying, if you have time to plan for a quick getaway, do it. And backing into
So
a
you
spot.
support the
I mean,
people that
don't-
back into the spot.
I mean, you're waiting either way. You're gonna have to zigzag either way. I don't know.
what-
I'm just saying I support people backing in. Is that what you meant?
Yeah, I was asking if
Like
you
you're
support
gonna
that.
wait. They're gonna pull in straight and reposition, or they're gonna back in. It's probably gonna take about the same amount of time. You just don't like that they're backing in
I don't like they're backing in because I believe it takes a little longer, and I believe that
a little longer.
yes.
Because you're gonna have to
What if
back
we
Okay,
Sorry.
I'll give you another one. People that drive around waiting for the closest spot, just park and walk.
okay, I'm
you
with
need
you.
you need the steps.
I'm with you.
most likely.
Especially
Yeah.
the ones at the gym,
Fair
you know,
enough.
and they're waiting for that front spot.
Or just at the grocery.
going to
Well,
gym.
maybe a grocery store, you got to load the car. I get that, but
Yeah.
still, like anywhere, it's like just walk.
No,
we don't walk enough.
Yeah, I'll park out. I mean, if I have the kids, it may be a little, but I'm not going to circle to get like a close
Right.
spot if there are other spots at all. I mean, I actually like to park out when you put the carts in the thingy next to that because
My ex used to park so far out, we could have just walked from home. Just left the car there.
why?
Just I don't,
Oh, people that take up two spots.
Yes.
Oh, there
Because
you
they're
go.
like, well, I don't want someone to ding my car.
Yes.
And it's
There you
like,
go.
well, guess what you're getting?
Yeah.
A ding.
It's like people.
I mean, I've never dinged someone's car. I'm just saying, like, just like that's what you're asking for if you do
right.
that.
Right.
It's rude.
it's the parking spaces that have the angled lines.
You see how this is all about driving?
Yes.
it is. It ends
Yeah.
up being about driving.
Just wait till like
insane.
imagine if our cities were built around people instead of cars. Like how much more comfortable it'd be. I would
Right.
love to be able to walk down the street from my house and take like a subway
Yeah.
and then go to dinner and not have to worry about my
well,
car.
have you spent some time in New York, Chicago?
Yeah, not so much. I've been to Chicago.
Those cities are, obviously
Yeah.
not made for cars. They're more
But New
made for
York,
people.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun.
Yeah.
I walked 76 miles to try Momofuku, and I was so disappointed. I'm sorry, 76 blocks.
I was like,
yeah, I was like,
76 miles
holy
and you
shit.
did
Sorry,
I'd be
76
pissed.
blocks.
He came in from
It's this like
Albany.
really good ramen.
Oh.
David Chang, I think that's his name. I'm probably saying it wrong.
And it wasn't.
It was okay.
It was okay.
I was like, wow, I walked this far for this.
we were hoping for his sponsorship, but
No.
No,
anymore.
I don't know. I did Milk Bar.
It was-
I don't know. I just was not impressed. I've had better stuff here. Dallas has
Fair
a
enough.
solid food scene.
It does. It's very underrated. It's just unknown. People don't think of.
I could go down rabbit holes forever. Sorry.
That's what we do here. Chicago is a pretty good food town.
Dallas is amazing. It is
Yeah.
night and day better than it was when I first got here.
Do you have a favorite restaurant?
Mot Hai Ba.
Hold on.
It's
think you
Vietnamese.
sneezed.
Hold
It's
on.
Vietnamese for 1, 2, 3.
We need it. Oh, okay.
God bless you.
Mot Hai Ba.
Vietnamese restaurant.
Yeah, but it's a Serbian chef.
Ooh.
That makes
And
sense.
he got into some trouble with some social media stuff, so someone listening might not like this. But his food is incredible.
Hey, we want people to not like this on our show. His
I don't
food is
know.
incredible.
I think he opened a restaurant right when COVID started. I think he was under some stress and
That-
maybe like
ugh.
vented a little bit on social media.
Imagine
the
all the
sex
people.
trafficking and stuff like that, it just probably wouldn't.
Oh man, Mot Hai Ba, and then Chris and John in Addison. Have you ever been there?
That went
Chris and
totally
John, no?
opposite. Mohababa.
Yeah. And
Chris and John is actually a Vietnamese street food place, but
It
it's
is?
fusion. So they'll make burritos and quesadillas, but it's like pho and ramen are the ingredients.
Interesting.
So you get like a pho dilla,
Where's
and you
this at?
dip it in broth.
What?
It's in Addison.
Addison,
dude,
okay.
it's super quick.
Like Beltline or in the well, no one gives a shit.
South of Beltline.
We have Philippine
Spring Valley, I
listeners.
think
They don't know
Spring
where the
Valley.
hell Addison is.
Right.
It's north of here.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Meridian is really good too over off South.
Yeah, our Sri Lanka listeners are not going to give a fuck where this Addison Circle.
Yeah. I think those are my top 3 right now.
Okay. What about you? Do you have some that you like? So you're a big Asian, fusion, Asian Vietnam.
Well, fusion in general is the best food because
Okay.
you're taking the best part of two things, you combine them. Asian cultures just have clashed with so many other cultures. Vietnam in particular, they had the Dutch there, they had the French there, then
Yeah.
we came in.
Yeah.
Every time that happened, their food only got better.
It's true.
You go to Ho Chi Minh, which is an incredible city. I spent a week there and I loved it.
That's on our list, Trey.
Dude,
Ho Chi
go.
Minh?
It's Saigon. It's called Ho Chi Minh now.
Yeah, we might need some coats. It's a little chilly.
Is it?
It's
I hate
you'll
the
get
cold
like
weather.
$1.40, like $1.40 banh mi. You know what a banh mi is?
Nope.
It's like their hoagie, but it's on really good French bed because the French were there,
Okay.
and it's like it'll be the best banh mi you've ever had.
All right.
Ho Chi Minh.
Yeah, that sounds okay. That's where we're gonna go
I like it.
at some point. I don't know, but that's interesting though, the fusion thing, because I never thought about that.
Yeah, I never thought about that aspect of it. Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, to me, it's like and I lived in Glasgow, Scotland for a while, and their fusion was
There's
fish.
no fusion.
It was fish and chips. It was fish and chips, pizza, and India
Curry.
curry.
Yeah, and
was
that's
it.
the Indian-
Everything was pizza, fish and chips, and curry.
And the curry is the best part, and that's British. That's British people cooking Indian
Yes.
people's food.
Yes.
It's fusion.
Oh, yeah.
In America, we've got pizza. Italian.
Yeah.
But we brought all these things in. We've made them better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you just take it one level up.
Yeah. Anyway, that's good. I mean, we could talk food. Trey likes his food. He doesn't eat a lot, but
No, this is gonna be the longest episode ever.
no, it's good. We'll end it here. I had so much fun. I hope I really wanted to get into your mindset when it came to just being an entrepreneur and just the business side of things and how to do it. And I learned a lot.
Yep.
I mean, I knew some of it.
It's fun. Yeah.
But it's fun to learn and the perspectives that you have. And that's why I hope you'll come back.
Sure, anytime.
And he says that on the air, and then off the air, he's like, "No, I'm kidding.
No,
I'm joking. I'm
I
kidding.
feel like I talk too much.
No,
Not at all. Not at all.
Wait, look here. This might be the most I did.
This is different for our guest to actually talk on the show. So it's
Ryan, they give me a hard time because I interrupt and I do this. Tonight, I worked hard to sit back, I held my football, and I said, I'm going to let him go ahead. But
we actually had a Russian nurse said by the time our guest talked, she was uninterested now.
it's because she was
took too
Russian.
damn long.
She's not. She didn't get our humor.
Privyet. Yes.
She literally said the three things were like, these guys aren't funny. These guys are something crude, and then they took too long to get to the guest. She was not a fan.
At all.
But you know what? I welcome that criticism. So I hope to have you back. You're a good man. I enjoy hearing your stuff, and I wish you the best in everything that you do. I think Trey and I are going to get that app going. We're going to do for our next trip.
There we go.
For
gonna
Mochi
mesh.
Minh, what?
Ho Chi Minh?
Ho Chi Minh.
Ho Chi Minh. We'll use his app. We'll get
There
it
we
going.
go.
Spark it up.
Plan this trip.
Spark it up. Anything else, boys? Do you have anything to close with?
Oh, one more impression.
Oh yeah. One more impression.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm not going to introduce it. You'll figure it out.
No. Well, I hope.
Smeagol.
Oh, these ones.
What's wrong, Smeagol?
Oh, he scares me.
Must be treasures. I told you they were the treasures. No!
You scared the shit out of your kids with that.
I haven't laid that on Perry yet.
That
but I
was
think I'll
so
figure it
good.
out.
If anybody doesn't know, that's just look it up, right?
Or wait till it's really dark and start
Look
talking
it
to
up.
Whitney like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I've done that to her. Oh, yeah. Late night. I'm all,
No, go away, Trixie Hamilton.
I bet that gets you laid. No,
not once.
Not once. No, I love it. That was great. Anybody that doesn't know what that is, too bad.
Right.
Go look it up.
Yep.
So awesome, man. We hope to see you next time.
Thanks.
All right.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Love you guys.
Later. I think I'm a little disappointed that our senior citizen strip club is not going to take
know.
off like we thought it would.
I really thought that was going to be our
Yeah.
golden ticket.
A moneymaker, yeah.
Well,